the experiential producing brand from a real world perspective, a live event space. To that, I would also say that the inspiration has to come from viewing the world from the end user. Sometimes I'm involved in choosing the venue. Sometimes I get brought in when the venue's already been, there's a certain amount of front work that's already been done before I enter. I'm always focused in on the end user experience. And so I consider, the first steps into the building, into the room, into the foyer. What feeling are they getting when they step into that space? What food is being brought in for them to have? How is it presented? How is the lighting, for example, in the space designed? Is it brand centric? Does it bring a warmth? And does it convey those key brand messages? And then when they go into the room, again, what does that feel like? I mean, I've been involved in events where the room is warm, the room is just jammed full of people, it's uncomfortable, it's not consistent with what the brand really wants to say, right? So, again, sometimes in this regard, less is more. Right? You want to be able to convey comfort. You want to be able to make sure that the running order of the event is complementary and is giving people space and is giving people the time to absorb the information. What are the let's say what's the quality level of the presentation? What's the quality level of the visuals and the audio components? And are there warm fabric components to the design? Is there a feeling that the message is unified from the very beginning to the end? Again, I've been in all forms of events, and some are great and some are not. What makes an event great? Well, what makes an event great is that the message is clear, the visuals are clear, the presenters have taken into consideration that they have to convey a certain message, but let's say do it in a way that allows the end user to absorb it and then let's say develop their own thought around it. Whereas maybe a lesser event may have people that are just, that are one after the other. There's no space, there's no breaks. The meals are not good. There's no time for meals. There's working lunches. And, the production team just hates the working lunches, right? Because when the event is still going on, the production team is still working. So there's no break. Right, and so this is when an experiential producer would come in and say, look, there's got to be space. You've got to let people absorb the information. You've got to do it in a way that is, a little softer. The timing has to be a certain way. It has to be done in a way that is creative, possibly even entertaining. That's why the speakers that are involved have to know what they're doing, just like you. I mean, you do this for a living, so the fundamentals of how to, let's say, keep the audience engaged, right? So these are just a million components when it comes to events and tying in the messaging with the brand. There's a considerations. And so it's key that let's say a company that is looking to do an event engage an experiential producer to help them formulate that messaging in a way that's going to be as impactful as possible. And also, at the end of that curve is the return on investment.